Hi, my name is Matt Carroll with World Class Coaching, and today with the help of Academy Sports Coach 2023, I want to talk to you about a formation that I'd like to use, the 3-5-2, which is coming back into vogue a little bit. And the reason is because having the two forwards is really great in the attacking buildup, but you need that defense, the midfield, but you don't really get in. You don't get as much in the 3-4-3 or even the 4-3-3. So you have a number of 5 midfielders. Very strong attack. You can play with 2 6s. I think it's really great, but I think the critique it gets usually is its defensive lapses, especially having the 3 backs. So I want to talk about some of the ways we mitigate defensive issues in the 3-5-2, or as I like to call it, the 3-2-3-2 in this system, because we're playing with the 2 6s. We don't have. I've seen they play a bowl shape here. Or the 2 10s in this line here. We play straight up 2 6s. So in this formation, I think the 6s can pivot and cover a lot of the defensive issues that come about by having only the 3 backs, and you're getting in with the number of attacking players you're committing forward. So in the attack, you can send both wingers up. You can have 2 9s, the 10 can go up, and then you have your outside backs getting compact, and you could have the 6 becomes a 10 and it's getting up there and getting high. So we definitely are going to commit numbers forward in the attack, which leaves us vulnerable at the counterattacks and leaves us vulnerable in these areas. Okay, the wide areas, I like to call them the kill zones because the concept is a killer pass can come from these areas. It leaves us very vulnerable. So if the ball's out wide here, we get countered here. You're not going to be able to play this system without getting some pressing in. Okay, if you give the opposition time and space, and you give them these looks, they're going to hit these areas out wide that will definitely impact you. So your job as the coach is to make sure that your players understand we need to deny time and space and make them get passes and in the counter to allow our defense to get back and delay. But where I think you get hurt the most is this ball out wide. Does your 6 go, does your 7 go, or does your 2 go in this situation? So we're working back in here. We're trying to get a little more defensive. The 10's dropping back out. The 11's working back. Who goes to this ball? Well, if you want the 7 can get there, we'd like the 7 to get back. But the 7 can't, we're really asking them, and I coach high school, and, it's a lot to ask the 7 to run up and down the field the entire game. We can sub, but, you're burning them out pretty quickly. So if the 7 can get back here, and let's say it's their 11, if the 7 can get back and defend, that's what we want them doing. And you see on the back side as well, if they have someone back here, we'd like the 11 to get back here, and we almost get back into a 5 back in defense. That's, again, not always possible. The 7 or the 11 get caught up high. So who goes ball and who covers this backside run? Because these 2 players, the opposite wingers, because of the lack of width in this formation defensively, are the 2 players that are going to look to hurt you the most. So here I would say if the 6 can slide over, that's our second best option, because what the 6 will do is then cover here. The 11 keeps working back. The 3 should be in enough distance that if the ball is played in the air across the field, they should be able to get over there and meet at the point of contact. So we don't want to be sunken in, just forget about the guy. But we also don't want to get dragged out here where we are in a situation where now we've got a huge gap in our back line because we've kind of mark a player on the backside. So I'd say they're equidistant between, close enough to the 5 that they can keep cohesion, but close enough to the opposition player that if the ball is played in the air, they have time to slide over and get there. So in this situation, the 6 is then stopped ball. The other 6 should be checking central. The thing that happens, I think, where we get a lot of mistakes is the other 6 slides too hard, and the opposition 10 then is wide open. So we need this 6 to clog things up. We're clogging up passing lanes, and we're trying to deny passing options and make them work backwards, because as they work backwards, we can shuffle our defense and get into a better set. So if they have to pay 5 passes to get back, by then the 11 has had time enough to work back and get into a position where they can mark out the backside. Even then, sometimes we want our 11 to not even mark this player directly. We want them, same thing as the 3, to be able to get back in time if the ball is played across. So the ball is played in the middle, they creep a little closer. The ball is played back outside, they play off. If the ball is played over to the air, they can get over there and mark that player. So maybe that doesn't work. Maybe the 6 can't get there. Maybe they're in a situation. Here we have the 2. slides over the ball. But again, huge gap here. We're in a little bit of trouble. One of the sixes can drop into the back line here. And that's another option we like to look at, where this 6 just becomes another a center back for us, and the 2 flips the role. And again, the other 6 is central. Now, if that doesn't work, this other 6 slides in, we get a low compact, and the 6 is working on blocking passing lanes. What we don't want to be able to have them doing is we don't want them to be able to play into these areas, and we don't want them to be able to switch into the middle to get a shot in front of our back line, because we need that 6 standing there. So when 6 is in the back line, the 2 is gone, and we're covering for them. The 7 is back pressing. The 7 should work to the cut off passing lanes. The 6 is cutting off passing lanes. The 10 has the diagonal back. All right, and if there's anything back to a winger, the forwards can then press it. So the 9s are looking for anything that comes in the back line. If we can force a negative, the 9s are picking up anything in the back line, and they're just pressing it to death. We don't want them to be have an option where they can play that back pass. So any back pass, they should be looking over their shoulder, because we have 2 forwards that are just prowling the entire time. If you need more defensive cover, one of the 9s can drop in as well and help out. But I'd say we want to try to make it so that if the opposition gets the ball on the wing, they're playing their entire game is in this area. And then we can slide a 6 in to cover that passing lane. We've got a 6 covering here. We've got the 10 that can slide over. We've got the 9 covering the back pass. We've got the 7 working back, so they can't cover anything back, plant anything back easy. The 2 in this situation, it's the 2, the 6, or the 7, is pressing the ball. And so they'll want to play a pass back because they're under pressure. 9s are hunting. They'd like to play a switch because they know on the backside, what's it called? They know on the backside there should be space because we've slid over. And so if they play that ball, we set the trap where R3 is just enough distance away. So as the ball's in the air, it travels, they slide, 5 slides. Let's replace the 2 back into the 2 slides. The 6 slides, and this 6 slides right into here into the mid. So again, the 9 and the 10 are blocking off the passing options. The 11 is working here. And we're kind of in the same situation we were in before. All right, so if they do switch, it's just an easy slide, and it's the same defensive hunting that we saw on the backside here. So again, we really need to make sure that where this system can get broken is if we're not applying pressure. If this player is able to have time and space on the ball, or this player is able to have time and space on the ball, they're going to find areas you can pick out. You're going to be vulnerable to through balls. You're going to be vulnerable to crosses and switches. You're going to be vulnerable, especially if the winger can play a ball into the 10, because basically if the 6 is off, right? The 6 isn't playing, caught in or playing too off here. The 10's going to have to back press, and the 6 is broken, and we basically have a 2v1 here going against our keeper, and it's going to isolate our center backs, and it's really in the system not what we want to have. So we want to make sure that we're getting the system in place where we're putting pressure on the opposition, we're making the field very small, and we're denying passing options. We're trying to force them into a situation where they play into one of the passing lanes we've set a trap for, or they're trying to go against our back line, because if they go against our back line, 5 can slide, 6 can drop in, 6 can drop in and help. The 11's back pressing. We can deal with that. We can deal with that because we've got numbers now on the outside, and we're not as vulnerable as we were before. What we can't have is where we have gaps in the center mid and we're allowing time and space for those players to go. Or if players on the wing can pick their head up and pick out a ball, they're going to find something, because we're going to have to play with some gaps in our defense, especially on the backside. So I'd love to hear how you utilize your 3-5-2, or as again, like I like to call it, the 3-2-3-2, and how you compensate for the 3-back system that you have and the vulnerability we have on wide. So that's how we do it on my teams. And once again, with world-class coaching and with the help of Academy Sports Coach 2023, my name is Matt Carroll, and I hope this session finds you well.